In the era of the global crisis of capitalism at this century, the process of forming a global class society has entered its terminal stage. What will the new human society be like? The question is not at all rhetorical, it requires an answer due to the extreme evidence of its relevance. Will Elon Musk be able to answer? This person has faced a lot of difficulties, but it seems that now he may face the biggest challenge. He again surprised a lot of people on his Twitter by calling ESG a scam after excluding Tesla from the S&P 500 desk rating. Why is Elon Musk criticizing Klaus Schwab and the Economic Forum? Is ESG really a scam? In recent years, the trend towards responsibility and environmental friendliness has spread to the investment sector. As a result, the concept of ESG emerged. The abbreviation ESG can be deciphered as ecology, social policy, and corporate governance in a broad sense. This is the sustainable development of commercial activity. A business that claims to have a good ESG score must meet development standards in 3 categories: social, managerial, and environmental. Environmental principles determine how much the company cares about the environment and how it tries to reduce the damage caused to the environment. Social principles show the attitude of the company towards staff, suppliers, customers, partners, and consumers to meet the standards. Businesses must work on the quality of working conditions, monitor gender balance, or invest in social projects. Management principles affect the quality of company management, transparency of reporting, management salaries, a healthy environment in offices, relations with shareholders, anti-corruption measures. Elon Musk, the technology leader of Tesla, an electric car manufacturer and a contender for the post of CEO of Twitter, lost $12 billion in one day when, as usual on Twitter, he decided to tell the world about his political preferences. This was reported by Bloomberg. Everyone knows that Musk spends a lot of time on Twitter. Recently, he has been sharing large-scale ideas about the changes that need to be made in the social network Twitter, a company that he really wants to acquire. However, last Wednesday, the CEO of Tesla still poured out his soul, telling Twitter users about his political views. After that, within one day, Tesla's stock price dropped to its lowest level in 2022, writing off about $123 billion from Elon Musk's balance sheet. Musk's rant began after Tesla was excluded from the S&P 500, a list of companies ranked by their social, environmental, and management policies. The S&P 500 is a relatively new benchmark that investors use before making financial decisions. Thus, it is quite logical that the companies included in this list have made a significant contribution to environmental protection in the transition of society into a new era. According to such criteria, Tesla, which has become a pioneer in the production of electric vehicles and is working on the creation of battery capacity for power grids and promoting solar energy, should absolutely get on the list, and she hit him. However, just the other day, the electric car manufacturer was excluded from the list, which clearly angered Musk, who tweeted about it. The head of SP, Margaret Doran, told Reuters that Tesla's exclusion from the list followed reports of racial discrimination at its enterprises and accidents involving the company's autonomous cars. When asked to comment on how it happened that Exxon topped the list, a representative of the index told Reuters that Musk may have been referring to a list of companies sorted by their market capitalization and not by ESG rating. Musk even said that the rating agency SP Global has lost its reputation as the authority stated because of his straightforwardness. Musk found himself on the other side of the barricades. Prior to that, Elon repeatedly expressed dissatisfaction with the fact that the White House ignores his efforts and Tesla's desire to implement the idea of electrified transport. Earlier this year, President Joe Biden praised the investments of automakers General Motors and Ford in the development of electric transport, forgetting, well, as usual, mention Tesla at the same time. Tesla is doing more for the environment than any other company has ever done, he said. SP Dow Jones reported that Tesla's position deteriorated compared to the ESG rating of 2021 on a number of criteria, noting in particular the company's lack of an emissions reduction strategy and the presence of problems in terms of compliance with business ethics. Tesla may be playing a role in removing cars with internal combustion engines from the roads, but the company lags behind. competitors in a broader assessment in terms of ESG criteria, said Margaret Dorn, Senior Director of SP Dow Jones responsible for ESG indices, in a series of tweets posted by Musk. It also says that he expects a serious escalation of political attacks on him in the coming months. In one of his tweets he cited a meme in which the answer to the question of what an ESG rating is sounds like it depends on how much your business meets the left agenda. In addition, the billionaire said that in the future he intends to vote for Republicans, although he previously supported Democrats. A high ESG rating indicates that the company manages its risks well compared to similar companies, while a low ESG rating indicates that the company is exposed to a higher unmanageable ESG risk. The SP 500 ESG Index, which was launched in 2019, measures the value of shares of some of the largest companies by market capitalization registered in the United States, which in turn meets certain sustainability criteria, but the company that cares very much about the environment has a low rating. Elon Musk expresses his dissatisfaction with the fact that his company was brazenly excluded from the SP 500 ESG Index on Twitter. ESG is a scam. It has been weaponized by phony social justice warriors. He also states that a good ESG score is equivalent to the company's compliance with the left agenda. Some people support doubts about the ESG concept, and all mainly because it allows companies and investors to avoid legal proceedings for socially irresponsible actions or investments. It is an international organization based in Geneva or Switzerland that gathers political and business leaders every year and discusses major issues affecting the global economy. Political, economic, social, environmental issues are just a few examples. Klaus Schwab, professor of business at the University of Geneva, founded WF in 1971. It was originally known as the European Management Forum, but in 1987 it changed its name to the World Economic Forum to expand its platform offerings for international conflict resolution, and perhaps best known for its annual meeting at the World Economic Forum, Switzerland. This event regularly attracts business and political leaders from around the world for a series of discussions under global issues. This organization consists of a global elite from the private and public sector and includes some of the world's most famous leaders, diplomats, celebrities, media representatives, government officials, religious leaders, and representatives of the European Union. The mission of the World Economic Forum, according to them, is based on what is known as the theory of stakeholders, a term that we should all treat with caution because, according to the theory, the purpose of a private sector organization is to increase shareholder profits. The organization should consider the rest of society as interested in the company's action. Key decisions should take into account stakeholders such as employees, customers, service, as well as the local and global community. The World Economic Forum is headquartered in Switzerland and has offices in New York, Beijing, Tokyo, San Francisco, and Mumbai. COVID-19 has forced some changes to the annual meetings, in which the World Economic Forum and its annual meeting in Davos have recently become a huge sensation in the media. The conferences and the organization itself have been criticized in the past for their corporate takeover of global and democratic as well as for systemic initiatives, public spending on security, and the status of the organization, exempt tax-free decision-making as well as membership criteria, lack of financial transparency, and environmental impact of their annual meetings. After a public outcry, the Swiss national government reduced its annual contributions to the WF by 20%. It's no secret that the name of the German economist, founder, and permanent president of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Klaus, appears first on the banners of the coveted dissidents of the whole planet. His books The Fourth Industrial Revolution and The Great Reboot, as well as many speeches, are studied and quoted by them recklessly and not in vain, because there he depicted our future as it is represented by the masters of history, 1% of the most influential and wealthy families of the world's elites and their closest servants, and the coronavirus pandemic itself has become an inevitable catalyst for this transformation. Schwab is building his own constructions of a new world order in which more than 90% of the current well-established people will lose everything from property to the right to dispose of their soul and body and life itself, a kind of universal equality of the slaves of the global system. Many people ask when we will finally be able to return to normal life. In short, the world will never be the same again. Capitalism will take a different form. We will have completely new types of property in addition to private and public. The largest multinational companies will take on more social responsibility. They will participate more actively in public life and bear responsibility for the common good. The suppression of the peoples of the world with the help of COVID restrictions and open state terror will lead to the loss of billions of jobs for those who have lost their jobs. Schwab offers the introduction of a universal basic income in exchange for fulfilling a number of conditions such as unconditional vaccination with everything that Big Pharma offers and giving up ownership of property forever. The size of the universal basic income will barely reach the subsistence minimum, but in order to preserve it, it will be necessary to unconditionally fulfill all conditions. Those who do not want to give up their property will be strangled with taxes. Elon Musk thinks this is complete idiocy. What do you think the confrontation between us and the World Economic Forum with Elon Musk will lead to? Share your opinion in the comments.